things have just sort of coalesced in my mind. And again, I'm just a guy sitting in his car. So, I've got no degrees after my name or anything like that. So, disregard me if you think what I have to say has no merit. But if you're open-minded, then listen to what I have to say, and consider for yourself. Regarding this so-called global pandemic, I've been wondering for a long time why the propagandists for this pandemic have been in a way so sloppy. Because it seems to me it's so easy if you just take any kind of look at what they're saying. You don't even have to scratch that deep into it. You don't have to go that far. You just have to look at some basic things. One of the basic things is this so-called virus has never been isolated. They've never isolated this virus. Now, and I mean, I'm not making this up. I'm not saying, and I'm not quoting from conspiracy-minded people. When I say this, you'll find establishment people saying this. The CDC will admit to this. There's no, this virus has not been isolated. They can't say under a microscope, oh, there it is. That's the virus that we're all talking about, that we're shutting the world down over. And yet, they're still claiming that it's just, can't be disputed that this virus exists and that it's spreading across the world and sickening people and in large numbers, but there's no actual isolated virus. So how can they know that? Not only that, but the test that's being used, the PCR test, the test that they use to see if you test positive for the virus, is not a test for the virus. If you test positive, you might have a whole host of viruses, including the common cold, various RH related viruses. And I'm not, again, a medical person, but that should speak for itself. I am relatively ignorant about medical matters, but even somebody like me, even a layman like me, can say, you can't isolate the virus, number one. The test that you've got that supposedly determines whether or not you've got the virus, that test does not test for the virus. And if you test positive for the virus, they just say, oh, well, you've got it. But in fact, you could have a number of things, including antibodies. It could be totally asymptomatic, which a lot of people are, and they still test positive. And so again, to review, the virus itself cannot be seen, cannot be isolated, has not been isolated. Number two, the test that they give you to determine if you have the virus doesn't actually test to see if you have the virus. The maker of this test, you can find this online somewhere. I don't remember his name right now, but you just do a little bit of sleuthing and you can find it on your own. He's quoted saying this test should not be used as a diagnostic tool. Well, there you go. I mean, how could anyone take this far seriously? And until now, it's just sort of been had me scratching my head. But what just came over me a few minutes ago, as I was sitting here in my car, in my the place where you all see me every time almost every time I post a video. Oh, you're just a guy sitting in his car. Yep, I'm just a guy sitting in his car. But it occurred to me, sitting here behind the wheel of my car, that maybe that's the whole point. Maybe this whole thing is yet another example of the revelation of the method. Just like I was saying, I've said in previous videos, and I believe this to be true as well, with something like 9/11, you don't have to look that closely. You don't have to do that much sleuthing to see that the story that they've told, this yarn that they've spun concerning what they say happened on September 11th, 2001, holds absolutely no water. There are so many problems with it. Nothing adds up. Well, same applies here. And it's all so, it seems so simple, so elementary. You kind of think, what am I missing here? Everybody's saying this virus is spreading across the globe. Everybody is saying that, that yes, this virus is real. Not everybody's saying that, but, everybody who you're supposed to take seriously, who you're told to take seriously, who, if you know it's good for you, is saying that. Yet they don't have the virus isolated. How can you know whether the virus even exists? And trust me, I'm not saying definitively that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying, how can you say that it definitively exists if you can't even isolate it? How can you say that somebody's got the virus if you don't even have a test that tells you that they've got the virus? If the test that you use to determine whether they've got the virus, everyone, including all the medical establishment people, say doesn't actually test for the virus, it doesn't add up. And maybe that's part of the point. Maybe it's not supposed to add up. Maybe, it's another one of those things where they make it obvious to everyone with eyes to see and ears to hear. And in so doing, they make us all complicit in it. All us nobodies, all us laymen. Because we should see through it, but we don't, because we're too scared to talk about it, because there's such a huge cost, there's, socially speaking, as far as your reputation goes. My reputation is already shot to hell. It's been shot to hell for years, so I might as well just say whatever I think. But, people who are good, upstanding members of society, you look into it a little bit, you can see that this is a farce. But for various reasons, including that you don't want to lose your social standing, you don't speak up about it, or it doesn't occur to you to talk about it. You just roll with it. And I think that's what the majority of the people do. When I walk around the mall, if you've seen me in prior videos without a mask on, and everybody else is wearing a mask, just about everybody else, I don't think that I don't get, I haven't run across that many Karen type people, the kind of people who will scowl at you and yell at you in public for not putting a piece of cloth over your face. Most people don't care. They're just, they're just walking through the mall with their masks on, and I'm walking through the mall without my mask on. And it's like, I'm not getting that they and I are really at odds. It's just that they're rolling with it, and I'm not, and that's it. That's, and I'm not claiming to be a hero, or I'm not claiming I'm a great guy or anything because I'm not wearing a mask. Because there's plenty more that I could be doing that I'm not doing right now. I'm sort of, just like most dissenters, I'm trying to determine how to, what can be finessed and what can't. I do have a job right now where everybody's supposed to wear a mask, and I haven't complained about it. I haven't put on my persona that I have here. I just wear the mask while I'm at the job, And, you could take me to task for that, I guess, if you want. But, and so that's why I don't have, I'm not looking down on people who aren't totally, who are to some extent just rolling with what they're being told. But I do think we do have a responsibility on some level to just apprehend the truth and to face up to it and to, in our own way, fight for what's real, and to stand up against this farce that they're perpetrating, where they're telling us that there's this virus and they don't even have the virus isolated, and they're telling us that they have this test for the virus, but the test that they have doesn't even test for the virus. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Maybe that's it didn't occur to me till now. I just wanted to put those thoughts out there. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. You can check out my work at ultrarightnovelist.com.